Alright then, I want to talk a little bit about the drug bust at Convent Place in Gibraltar. Apparently a couple of security guards, a man and a woman, were filmed on CCTV taking drugs, consuming drugs at number 6 Convent Place. Now, to my way of thinking, this is not a particularly good signal for Gibraltar to send. I think that this type of incident validates some of the claims that are made by Spain's thuggish Guardia Civil, who justify their checks at the border, disproportionate checks at the border, by claiming that Gibraltar is some type of drugs den, some type of mafia state, etc., etc. And of course, those of us who support Gibraltar feel shame when these type of news hit the headlines. It's shameful that this type of thing has to happen, and it's a shame on Britain, and that shame is brought on by Gibraltarians themselves, and it needs to be said, because the Spanish are not responsible for this, and the Brits certainly aren't. Gibraltarian Llanito nationalists spend half their time criticising Britain, the MOD, the governor, or the Guardia Civil, which is quite right. They should criticise the Guardia Civil. But I think they should be a little bit more self-critical themselves. Here we have a situation where there's been a drug bust at Convent Place, the place where, well, important decisions are made in Gibraltar, and it's almost like nothing's happened and nobody's allowed to criticise and nobody's allowed to comment, when very clearly it's made a complete fool out of those people who have been standing up to Spain, standing up to the Guardia Civil, who have constantly been claiming that there's drugs and cigarette smuggling, etc. In Gibraltar. What needs to be done now is a full investigation. There needs to be a full investigation into this incident to find out exactly what is happening, what has happened, and where the drugs came from. There needs to be a full, transparent investigation, so that tongues stop wagging and Britain is not left to feel ashamed by the Spanish authority. The UK and the Brits have a right to criticise Gibraltar and the Llanitos and their behaviour, and they have every right to place limits. After all, the UK is practically subsidising Gibraltar with the tax breaks that Gibraltar gets and the good life that Gibraltarians live at the expense of Britain. And it's time to start speaking out on these issues, because it seems that Britain is bending over backwards and the British people are supporting the people of Gibraltar 100% against the aggressions by the Spanish state. But Gibraltarians themselves are letting themselves down, and they're letting Britain down, and this is yet another example of that.